March to order. Join me in salute to our flag there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call to my right, Joe Bear, Kent Gross. Previous meeting minutes.
Everything changes.
Yep, they look good to me.
Then I will move to approve the meeting minutes from the May 23rd meeting, 2022.
We'll second that. So I got a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes from the May 23rd, 2022 meeting there. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 2-0. All right, old business. Anything in old business today? No old business? All right, no old business. Moving on to new business.
Item new business is plat 371/2022, which is the Howard primary plat. This is a request for drainage approvals off 3-lot residential subdivision on 80 acres. Subject property is located at 6865 West Whiteman Road. This project currently has a couple of building permits active on it, including a construction stormwater general permit. The home, pond, and the barn on site were well over an acre disturbed at permitting. So this already has a approved use to the Rule 5,
Okay.
the CSGB.
Okay.
Andrew Barcosi here. The power, if you have any questions, this is a public hearing tonight.
So do we by chance know what the commitments were coming from the planning commission?
Planning Commission approved it, contingent on any outstanding tax comments and drainage approval. Petitioner did get some waivers for intersection improvements, improvements along the roadway. Well, it was a lot frontage.
Well, no lot frontage on that second one. Because there was some shit, right?
Yep.
All right. All right, you said this was a public meeting?
It is public hearing.
All right, I will open it up for public comments. Any public comments? Seeing none, we will close public comments. All right, any questions in John, anything like that there?
So,
Is this proposed pond still going to be done or not, or is it already done?
It's kind of under mid-construction right now.
The construction?
Yeah. That's been finalized, yeah.
It was built more as a recreational pond.
Correct.
Yeah, it's kind of like a family compound, the family bought it, and
Due to the size, we had to do some idea permitting. We did some drainage stuff on that.
Okay.
it does, it's not operating as a detention pond, but it does retain,
Okay.
The calcs, I think, were mainly for make sure it was going to stay wet and not drain hard hills.
There's also a couple culverts besides for underneath that driveway, a couple good drainage ways that flow through there.
Now I'm assuming it overflows out to Crooked Creek then?
Yeah, eventually, Crooked Creek kind of flows that, and we go northeast, it eventually catches up over there. And then flows from east to west across and finally catches from there.
You good? All right. You want to make a motion? I'll make a motion.
Either way, I can move to, I guess, approve plat 000-371-2022, Howard primary plat as presented.
All right, do we have to say anything about tech comments since that was already done and for planning?
I think there are a few, possibly a few outstanding
There are.
comments regarding stormwater. So I just know I was, didn't want to see any outstanding comments.
All right,
If there are, they're not major.
okay. So we'll include that comment about tech comments there as well. All right, I got a motion, I will second that. I got a motion and a second to approve. Plat 000-371-2022, the Howard primary plat. Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes 2-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You guys have a good one.
You too, sir. Thank you. All right, moving on. No further new business, that's it?
That's it for tonight.
All right, discussion items then.
I just have some kind of minor project updates for you. Brian and his crews did run the rear yard drain for Pine Easy Street. There's a garden kind of in the line. We decided to just get in that line until that garden's out and complete that
Okay.
after the season.
Okay.
It's supposed to working through one of the neighbors' gardens.
Well, you know,
There was
it just happens to be an easement. You can move it. All right, okay. That sounds fine. You just got the time now. It's nice and dry back there. It's like,
We may need that food
I
here
was gonna
soon.
say. I was gonna say. All right.
the project that Brian's guys did today, extended the rear yard drain behind the homes on Southway. There was a area that kind of stood water in there. Brian identified that drain he placed in there previously, and he was able to push down. So he got that done, or was working on that today.
Okay.
Last item, if you recall, last year I brought an area for the little pond over in Parkview Estates. It's about a half acre, kind of stagnates, doesn't really get a whole lot of
Water movement stuff.
a lot of movements, kind of thermal turnover last year.
Yeah.
Killed a lot of the fish. We do have a quote to get that installed.
Okay.
Town Forces would be installing the electric service. And we have the companies install the aerator and pump.
Okay.
If I was proactive, I would have that. So the quote is from Aquatic Services of Indiana. They're out of Greenwood. Total is $3,466 for the pump, the aerator, and installation. We will need a revised quote from them. They include sales tax. We can't pay sales tax. Otherwise, we'd incur the wrath of Nancy, and we don't want that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so this one, I'd just be looking for your okay to, a little bit over the spending limit's been set, so it's got a reaffirmation of the board that we're good with this cost.
Do you need a formal?
I would hurt.
I'll move to approve the cost for that. You said we're getting a revised quote.
Yeah, it'll be for $3,466.
Okay. So I'll move to approve for the amount of $3,466.
For the new area, for the Park View Estate Pond.
Yep.
Okay, I will second that motion. Got a motion and a second there to approve the new area for the Park View Estate Pond, not to exceed $3,466 there. Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes 2-0. All
I
right,
didn't mention on that one, we've had discussions with property owners and they want to take on that electric bill. That's true.
I didn't talk about that last week. Sounds good. All right, moving on. Any other discussion items? Anything else from the audience? Administrative items.
Project status.
Project status.
That would be, and should be a full play from easement acquisition. We did get those easement documents from Roy a few weeks ago, I was able to draw some easement documents for him over legal for review this morning. So as soon as we get those back from legal, we work on getting those signatures. I know Brian's issued to work hard and try with it. We did get a revised stormwater master plan this morning. It's at right around noon. We have Whistler here. They can go over kind of the changes, what they did with that. We don't expect any action tonight. We just got it a few hours ago.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so as Joe said, we emailed over the final draft of the master plan this morning. Joe's got 4 hard copies now, and he can distribute those as he sees fit. And then Dwayne is handed out just a little summary, so like condensed executive summary, basically just to highlight what are we recommending. So we were here, I think it was April, and basically the takeaway after that was, hey, let's get together and talk through some of these details, and make sure we're all on the same page with things. And then the biggest question was some improvements that were recommended for the old South Town, or South Old Town. And so that was the biggest change. After talking through and saying, hey, look, even though the modeling shows that the pipe's not the size of a 10-year storm, we never see water coming into the streets. Maybe take another look at that, and we agree that it doesn't make sense to recommend that larger project. So that's been scaled back to basically just the inlet on that isolated issue that we were showing on but so the biggest thing, even the options that didn't really change, is we've gone back and updated all the cost estimates. As I'm sure most of you are aware, things have dramatically changed in the past 6 months as far as construction costs. So now in the final report, basically each project, we just put in a line item for what do we call it, Blaine? Current market value. Basically, market conditions adjustment. We don't want to go through and just bump up every line item by a certain percentage, but based on the projects we've seen lately, everything is 20 to 50% higher. Yeah. Not knowing that if that's going to be sustained increase, or maybe things will come back down, we thought it'd be more sense to put that in as a separate line, so you can consider it as you are setting budgets. You can choose to leave the whole thing in, you can take it out, or again, if prices start to come back down, then you don't have to adjust every line item, just, just that one piece. So, next one, let Lane come up and just real briefly hit the highlights, kind of go through again the figures and the 5 different main projects and what they included, what's changed since the last time we were here.
Yeah, so like Bill said, really the only project that changed as far as the scope goes is the South Old Town. But as far as priority rankings and costs go, I'm just gonna kind of go through the first sheet on that packet that I handed out. Numbers 1 and 2, Harmony Hill and 3 Notch neighborhood, those both came out to be a 28 in our priority ranking, which are tied for the highest. Priority ranking sheets are included as an appendix in the full stormwater master plan. And the construction costs for Harmony Hill come out to be about $71,000, with the non-construction costs about $91,000. Total cost coming to be about $162,000. 3 Notch construction costs are about $1,673,000, and non-construction $232,000. And those 2 exhibits are, I don't believe they've changed at all since the previous version of the stormwater master plan. Those are also in that packet and in the full stormwater master plan as well. And then tied for 3rd on the priority ranking list are the South Baldwin Street drainage improvements and the 2 Snack Road drainage improvements, both coming into the 26 on our priority rankings. The construction costs for South Baldwin coming out to be about $903,000, non-construction $89,000 for a total of $992,000, and then for 2 Snack, $418,000 for construction costs, non-construction costs coming out to about $89,000, and then total costs coming to $507,000. And I believe it's the same thing with those 2 exhibits. Nothing's changed from the previous version of the master plan. And then for the South Old Town drainage improvements, priority ranking came out to be 20, with the costs for construction coming out to $419,000, with non-construction costs being about $68,000, and the total cost coming out to $487,000. This one has changed with a 12-inch RCP line going to the low point in question, and then replacing a nearby inlet and connecting into an 18-inch RCP. For the comments from the first stormwater master plan, or for the first iteration of the stormwater master plan, it was marked for us that there might be, or that there's a 15-inch line there. We have it as an 18-inch, but if the 15-inch is in serviceable condition, you can tie that in at that location rather than replacing it with an 18-inch as well. That would also work. Yeah, so I think that's about it on that. And those inlets to the north are just to service the yard that collects water during units. And then for the North Old Town drainage improvements, it was deemed that no improvements are needed at this time. Similar to the South Old Town, the current storm sewers are shown to be operate under pressure. They're pretty flat with not much fall going to the pond, but since there are no current issues above ground, so I recommend just leave those in place at this time. That kind of is a synopsis of the whole thing, but if there are any questions or anything, let us know now or email later, phone call, whatever.
Thanks for the revision. Thanks for the new numbers. It's just money. Can we just write blank checks?
Where we going?
Where the government, right?
I'm gonna go.
It's definitely a coin toss right now on where you're gonna get bid prices.
A little update on the, especially the Three Notch project. The wastewater utilities are gonna do some slip lining in that area. I'm gonna try to coordinate together with our utility administrator. To see if we can't get a quote while that project is going on. Right. And try to get some kind of scale going that we perhaps I can bring some breaker forward when we get that. My thought process was when we do the wastewater, I'm gonna try to slip in there. So we can get stormwater at the same time.
So is wastewater kind of in the same condition as stormwater is?
I don't think it's as bad, as bad condition as stormwater. Most pipes up there are galvanized in the 70s. They've seen better days. Brian was out fixing it, collapsed. He intercepted it last week.
All right.
The next item there is a floor plate ball. It's kind of a new item on the board. It's simply our long stormwater complaints. We'll start including this in our running year dates. So you can kind of see what we're seeing.
No complaints, there's
No complaints, man? No complaints so far?
There's always complaints.
Let's see what I'm here. That's the fine. Let's say let's not be
I just better, yeah.
complaints. I was just getting ahead of the game there. I don't know, just on the form there. No complaints yet.
We have 15 complaints.
15.
They all complain in April, May.
Most of them actually, yeah. So, the two we met this month are, there's a request to look at possibly connecting some parking lot drainage to a storm sewer. It's in the area. It's over at the church on East Street. We used to have storm sewers available in the area. Along 400 West. Just simply saying that my yard was over the work. I have been out to investigate that. Yeah, the vast majority of them between April 13th and May 10th.
Makes sense. Seems like it rained about every other day.
We usually try to use the rule of if the water stands for more than 48 hours, we'll look at it a little bit harder. If it's gone within 48 hours, it may be a nuisance, but it's not really a major issue. Of course, middle of May, it was hard to tell how long it actually stood.
Stood the whole month. Didn't stop raining.
Yeah. I'll be sure for that.
Okay. So I had one thing here quick, the new updates to the Bargersville Stormwater Manual and tech specs.
Mhm.
Roy had a question about, wanting to see if we need a working session there to talk about those.
Yeah, I contacted the consultants this morning and Maddie back then, they have some vacations going on right now. As soon as I can hear back from them, so we can get some scheduled.
So is it imperative that we have this ready to go by July, stormwater board or not? That was just something you shoot for, okay. All right,
Yeah, that would put it in line with some of the other code standards we're looking to pass through, but it's not, it's not the end of the world.
I was gonna say like July 4th, week next week, and there's 2 weeks this year, baby.
That's the second 300-page document from,
That's the sixth.
the third 300-page document from the consultants. I've read every word, every page.
Good for you.
All right, what else? There's reports, that's it.
Yeah, treasurer reports, and other claims. Treasurer reports, they come out in a separate email.
I saw that.
Claims and all, normal.
Yeah, I didn't say I got that anywhere near there.
I did have something on the treasurer's report. When you sent out there,
Mhm.
there were some charges for banking charges on there. I saw banking charges show up there. Well, the one you just sent out there, monthly banking charges. Just not having-
So the expense report,
Yes.
that is our payment processing for credit cards.
Okay,
People pay their utility bills with a debit or credit card,
okay,
it charges us 8%.
okay. I thought,
Going payments, Julie, is it?
Usually, I don't have that report, but.
I thought town council was looking into adding the charge back on those. Did they not do that? If they were gonna start collecting that fee there, I thought they had talked about that. Maybe not. I thought they would come before town council once before they discussed about how much we was getting charged and credit card charges there for those, and it was looking to charge them back, but maybe not. So that's our current fee for stormwater. We don't have any for stormwater.
I'm sorry.
So I'm just asking, why are we getting billed for that for stormwater?
I'll double check.
See what I'm saying there, because we don't
With
have,
accounting, I'm assuming it's whatever that percentage equation is, stormwater bill is, and the entire bill.
okay. I would question it.
I'll definitely reach out for clarification.
Yeah. Okay, if you could.
Yeah,
Appreciate that. All right. Rest of the charges are okay?
That's fine. Move to approve the monthly claims as presented.
All right, I got a motion. I will second that. Sorry, I got a motion and a second to approve the monthly claims as presented. Any further discussion? None. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes 2-0. All right, anything else before the board today? Anything else from the public and public comment there? Nothing. Going, anything else, Joe?
Nothing else?
I did have one item. I can talk to you guys after it. It was just a storm drain that came across out at Walnut Grove Elementary. It looked like it was a surface drain. It looked like it had either blown out underneath it somehow, but there was a bunch of open space there down into the ground there around this big surface drain. So I was gonna ask you a question about that. So that would be after the fact, so.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, I'll second that. We have a motion and second to adjourn. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Love these meetings.